Hey, Rusty, I'm so excited for you to join us today. So I'm here with Rusty, who is the author of Authority Marketing and has built the personal brands of big names like Jack Canfield Chicken Soup from the Soul, Sally Hogshead, and many others, Sully Sullenberg. I'm sure he can tell us more about that, but really excited to have Rusty here and wanted to add some value to you guys today. So Rusty, you wrote the book on authority marketing. Tell us kind of the basic principle of it.
Yeah, well, I think most of us as entrepreneurs, as speakers, are sort of trained and conditioned to focus on the corporate brand and really building that at all costs. And really, we find ourselves in an environment today where your audience is really much more interested in interacting with an individual thought leader or authority as opposed to a corporate brand. When I'm hearing from a corporate brand, my guard is up. When I'm perceiving somebody as a keynote speaker, as an author, as a thought leader, I'm not expecting that I'm being sold anything. I'm expecting that I'm learning something from them, and they're making an impact on me, which the good ones are. So that's kind of at a big picture for us. We feel like it is a dramatic competitive advantage for entrepreneurs and leaders to position themselves as mission-driven thought leaders who are writing books, who are speaking, who are building content, as opposed to just operators underneath a corporate umbrella.
Yeah, that's great. And we really have seen it almost coming up over the last decade, really just with more competition and sort of the commoditization of services and products. And also, as you always talk about, a distrust of corporate brands, and not even a distrust, but more just, it's never been easier to be ignored, right? As a corporate brand, yeah. And it's just shouting louder than the other person. And so, with people who get that and who really understand the power and the rise of the personal brand, still to use speaking as a platform, a lot of people don't really understand the speaking business. They don't know how to kind of get their start in it. What is your biggest insight into the business of speaking?
Well, I think the biggest thing is there are a lot of people that are good speakers. Many have been doing it, in their companies or with associations they're a part of for years and years. But making that jump from internal speaker to, somebody that's on the main stage at a bigger event, or somebody that's commanding, opportunities at larger events, you've got to really understand that you've got to own the first impression around your brand. So I think a lot of speakers, feel like their resume is going to speak for them, when the reality is, for most meeting planners and others that are making that decision to put somebody on stage, they're kicking the tires on you online. And the way that you represent your brand, the way that you create an image in the minds of your audience is got to be super intentional. So we're going to spend a lot of time in New York talking about how do you plant a flag? How do you not only own search and own discoverability around your name and your topic area, but once somebody gets to your website, once they get to your LinkedIn profile, what are the things that a meeting planner is looking for that are going to make the decision between, you being on stage and them forwarding, your link to their sponsorship chair to try to sell you a table. So that's a lot of what we're going to talk about is, really how to position yourself as somebody that I'm feeling lucky to get in as a speaker versus somebody that I'm trying to sell a sponsorship to.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, I think that'll be a wonderful thing to dive into. So what is it that, for the people who are coming to the ForbesSpeakers Symposium, diving into this, what's the thing that you really hope that they'll walk away with from that event?
Yeah, well, I think for a lot of people, they've got kind of a generic understanding of how to build a brand or how to grow their speaking business. But what they really need is a very specific roadmap for how to do that. And I see a lot of people waste a lot of time, a lot of resources trying to boil the ocean. There's no shortage of things that somebody can do within social media and beyond. So I think the biggest thing for me is efficiency and focus on the things that actually do move the needle for a speaker. And when somebody walks out the door of Forbes on Fifth at the end of the event, I want to make sure that they've got a very clear roadmap. They know exactly what they're going to do, and they feel really confident about achieving that.
Awesome. And if somebody can't attend the event, they can't get to New York, what would be your best piece of advice for someone today something they can do right away that can really help accelerating their speaking?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, be really conscious of the image that you're creating in somebody's mind when they Google you. Number one, can you be found? Do you own search? Number two, if I get to your LinkedIn profile, am I seeing a header image with you on stage that puts an image in my mind of you as a speaker, or am I seeing, a generic corporate logo or a picture of, the Maui beach from your last vacation? So much of this just comes back to, if you want to build an audience, if you want to make a bigger impact, you have got to position yourself visually as somebody to pay attention to it, as somebody who has been there, done that. And so, I think that's the biggest thing is own search around your name, have a brand name that you can own. And then, once somebody gets there, make sure you're actually creating an image that reinforces the need to reach out to you versus makes me concerned about putting you on stage.
Awesome. Well, we hope you all enjoy this time with Rusty, and hope you'll join us in New York, me and Rusty and our colleague Deborah Torres Patel, June 10th and 11th at Forbes on 5th. The link to register for the event is below in this email. We're limiting it to just 25 speakers, so we'd love to spend time with you there. And Rusty, thanks so much for spending time with us today.
My pleasure. No, I'm really excited. I had so much fun at the last one. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in New York.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.